approach because it's all the audience is doing, all you're doing out there is writing down your grams of protein and your grams of carbohydrate so that you can become aware. It's not that you have to be religious about it, but it's just so you become aware. And then, as Kellee says, probably for most of us, we're higher on the carbohydrate than we are on the protein. And that's where we lose our muscle, correct?
You got it. Exactly.
Yeah. Helpful. That's very helpful. And just
Yeah.
being aware is part of the battle. It's just being aware. That's the start of the journey.
That's right. And I mean, don't you find, like, Lorraine, for you, maybe even like before you lost the last 100 pounds and you'll keep it off forever, didn't you find that some of the things were, you just didn't know what you didn't know about it, right?
Right. And yeah. And if I listen to my body, then I know when my body needs protein, I can almost tell. Like if I have a little dip, I know that it's usually protein, like a piece of chicken or whatever I need. So I think it's being aware. When I had all that weight on, I tended to put everything under the carpet and pretend it didn't exist, just like your brother-in-law. Oh, it's not going to make a difference. And every day I'd wake up, no, it's not going to be today. It's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be next Monday. It's going to be next year. So
yeah,
what you're teaching us is to simply use a tool like MyFitnessPal and start taking our own control of what is happening so that we can become more aware. Love it.
you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
Because that's the first step is knowledge is power. And you can't get to Cincinnati from California if you don't know where California is and you don't have a map to get to Cincinnati, right?
Exactly. And that's what we're doing when we're throwing it all under the carpet. It's like it doesn't exist. We don't have to get there. We don't have to get to California. But if we really want to get somewhere, we're going to have to start with these baby steps. So I really like what you've given the audience. So last week it was Hi Future Self, and this week is my Fitness Pal. And these are practical yeah. practical tools, because we know what we're like as humans. If I don't have little reminders and practical tools, and I'm left on my own, sometimes I have a tendency to sway a little off the path. So this is really good. Now, when we are approaching the holidays, excuse me, what are some ways that we can, like, say we're going to a big party. Somebody out there might be going to a big party tonight. Of course, this will be in January, but it could be happening then too. What are some ways to help us so that we don't go off the rails crazy? Because the way I go off rails is probably with carbohydrates when I get to a party. Some ways that we can help ourselves before we get there, prepare ourselves, and then when we get there.
Okay. Yeah. So, and your audience will already know a lot of these, a lot of the tips that we tend to give, but I think they're definitely worth repeating. The first, don't go too hungry, because if you show up at a party and you're too hungry, it's kind of like the bear that we talked about, right? Don't be the bear coming out of hibernation and show up starving, because, you're just like a bear and you'll eat whatever's in front of you.
Yeah, good word.
And we all will. But I think what I think is a strategy that's one is for life, right? Because there are going to be times when you show up at parties or you show up at the grocery store, you show up at a restaurant, and you are hungry. So you can't always control your environment, but your outside environment, your external environment. But what you can control is your internal environment. Mm. And we know that stress is the biggest trigger for overeating, over drinking, for smoking, for fighting, for all those things we don't want to do. Stress is the biggest trigger for that. So the quickest and easiest way to reduce your stress levels is to breathe. Mm. Breathe in through your nose, and breathe out through your mouth. It's very unrealistic for people to think they have to sit down and meditate. Like sit down and meditate for an hour before you go to a party. Well, that's not likely to happen in my world. So what you can do though, 10 breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth will actually relax your sympathetic nervous system. So remember, I'm a chiropractor, so we're doctors of the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Your sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight. So by breathing in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth, you're actually blowing off CO2 because that accumulates when you're shallow breathing, carbon dioxide. The other thing you're doing is you're lowering your pulse rate. I'm even relaxing just talking about it.
Well, Kellee, as soon as you say breathe, I go, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
I'm just thinking about it and I'm relaxing. So it lowers your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, and relaxes your brain so that your executive functioning, and I don't want to get too neurobiology on you, but when you're in fight or flight, your prefrontal cortex, which is where you make decisions from, goes offline. So you want that part of your brain to be functioning well because you're going to be making decisions about your food and your drink and your behavior. So taking deep breaths makes sure that you keep your prefrontal cortex online so you can make good choices. I think that that's actually the ultimate strategy.
I love that because we all have heard, don't go to a party hungry, but I haven't really heard somebody, I talk a lot about breathing on this program, but I haven't thought about it in the terms of before I go into a party. So I think that I'm going to, if I'm going to a party, I'm downloading later today the High Future Self, and I'm going to put something in there that when just before a party, take 10 minutes and breathe, because I think that's huge, because it is a fight or flight thing, or almost a panic thing when I'm going into a food situation, because I either think I can't do it, I'm not going to be able to make wise choices, or don't even bother trying. But if I could slow down enough to breathe, that would be helpful. And I think out there in the audience, this would be really helpful for you also, to breathe before you go into a food situation if you tend to make poor choices. Love it. Love it. I like practical tools. It really is helpful for people out there because it takes the information and makes it practical into baby steps, and I like that.
Yeah, definitely. And then when you experience success with these things and you see that, oh my gosh, I was actually able to just breathe and I had no problem making great choices at that party, I feel really good about myself. Right. What that does is that increases your self-esteem and your self-trust. One of the things that people are lacking, and because some of it is you've been set up to fail unknowingly, right? So not on purpose, but the diet industry has kind of let you down, as we all know. So people have lost trust in themselves. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I think, if we can reestablish the trust that you do have tools, you can use them. They are simple. You are in control of what you put in your mouth and what you don't put in your mouth. And you can trust yourself. I think that will make such a big difference for people because it's that lack of self-trust that creates a lot of anxiety in itself.
Right. I love that. So tell us, Kellee, how the audience can get a hold of you. And you brought you brought a free gift for them, which I'm excited for them to hear about. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I'm really easy to find. You can Google my name. My website is kelleerutley.com, and it's Kellee. So there's 2 E's on the end of Kellee, kelleerutley.com. And I have a free gift waiting for you on my website. It's the 3 Keys to Feminine Fat Loss. It's a 3-part video series that I created. And you probably, well, we're on radio, so people can't see, but I had hair extensions when I did those. So you'll get to see my lovely Farrah Fawcett hair extensions. I cover the physiology of fat loss, the emotions of fat loss, and the energy of it. So that's my free gift for you today. And then my second gift for your audience in particular is the opportunity to come to my 3-day live event in San Diego in February 14th, 15th, and 16th. You get a free ticket to Breakthrough to Freedom Live, which is 3 days of real weight loss, real fat loss. So it's all whole food based. There are no products, no supplements, no fake foods, nothing that you have to buy when you get there. You can go to the event website, which is Breakthrough to Freedom Live, and get your free ticket. So the ticket is $197, but here's what's cool. When you get to San Diego, we hand you a check for $197, and then you spend 3 days with us experiencing real and lasting fat loss. And like, no joke, like people will lose weight in 3 days and go home knowing exactly how to keep losing weight and how to keep it off. I'll be there with my entire team.
How exciting. Now that sounds exciting. So if you're near the San Diego area, I would take her up on that. That sounds fabulous. Thank you for giving that to our audience. Thank you. Kellee, this has been wonderful. You've offered practical tools for our audience today, and I would encourage everybody to download today, before today is over, the High Future Self and MyFitnessPal, and begin to take baby steps to take your health back. So, Kellee, thank you. And for our
Lorraine,
audience,
thank you so much. Thank you and your audience.
It's been a pleasure. Remember out there, it is never too late to lose weight. It is never too late to go after your dreams. It is never too late to live a life of purpose. It is just never too late ever. So audience, Kellee and I are rooting for your health. We're here for you. I'm at LorraineHoving.com, and you can reach Kellee, and we will see you all back here next week. Bye, Kellee.
Bye, Lorraine. Thanks, everyone.